What's going on, everyone? Blake Fontana here. If you're new to the channel, welcome in. If you've been here before, welcome back. Up ahead in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you a strategy that you can use today to go out and book 5 to 7 warm opportunities over this next week ahead. All right, guys, so wasting no time into getting into today's topic, what I'm going to do is share my screen here shortly and walk you through a few things that I talk through this strategy itself. Now, the nice thing about this is it's super simple to follow. It doesn't require you to put out a massive amount of content. It really simplifies your strategy when it comes to content creation and ultimately allows you to have easier messenger conversations that don't require you to have to persuade, be pushy, be salesy, or any of that stuff itself. So what I'm going to do to start is give you an example of how we use the strategy in our own business directly, and then from there walk you through exactly step by step how you can go about using the strategy in your own business by the end of the video. So to start from the top, with us recently, we just hosted a live training inside of our free Facebook community, Unleash CEOs, on the topic of our profit prediction formula. In particular, some problems that relate to this topic and this formula that we've created come back to areas such as inconsistency within revenue, inconsistency within lead generation, feeling like you don't really know where your clients are coming from and it's like a guessing game. The results are super random and they're sporadic, and how we can start to regain control of those results in a predictable and consistent way through our profit prediction formula. So I know that where I'm at in my journey now with the revenue that we're able to generate and do consistently and predictably, looking back, it definitely wasn't always this way. I know that early on in my journey, one of the biggest problems and headaches that I dealt with, and then went back down after that first 10K month itself, back below 10K and kind of all over the map. And this is where I was stuck figuring out how can I go about actually creating consistency within this income stream? Because if this is going to be the business that I rely on to provide for me, provide for my family, and to also continue to grow to new heights, I have to have a system in place that's allowing me to create predictability and consistency within those results itself. And this was something that I had to go and invest thousands of dollars to get to the bottom of further and test a bunch of different things along the process until months and years passed. Now I'm at this point now where things are more optimized, things are more dialed in, and things are much more consistent and predictable than what they once were, allowing me to shed some light on this topic for those that I know are dealing with this same problem that I once dealt with. So I'm looking back on my journey, I'm seeing this problem, and what I'm doing is stepping in and offering to share the solution that I've been able to generate through my trial, through my error, through my efforts, through my investments, and through my action along the way. So after identifying this problem and coming up with this training idea itself, what I did from there was tease the idea of coming out with this training and actually let my audience know, hey, I'm planning to go live to talk on this topic here in the next week. Who here would be interested in joining me? I see some interest come in. I see that this is something that my audience aligns with and wants to see. And from this point, what I do is go and schedule that training itself. Now that I have this training scheduled for, let's say, a week to 10 days in advance, this is where I now have one centralized point to focus on talking more about and generating some more actions towards when it comes to this upcoming training. So with this training scheduled, I can now focus all of my content leading up over these 10 days basically talking on different elements that will be covered in this training, different bite-sized elements. So let's say I have a story on when I hit my first 10K month and came crashing down on my first 5K month after. I may insert that story within my content before that training, and then I may wrap up that story post with a simple call to action that says, hey, if you want to hear more about how I was able to create a consistent and predictable coaching business and take my business to X amount, comment below, and I'm going to be hosting a live training this week inside my free Facebook community that I'll get you access to. Done. So what we're doing is we have a centralized point to point folks to off of our content. We can take all those interested comments, all those people engaging on that post, and work to either take them to our community where the live training will be hosted, or let them know the details on where to access the training when things do release in the coming 5 to 10 days, whatever the date you set itself. So again, I can repeat this cycle over the next couple of days leading up until the event, taking out more stories, more angles, more experiences related to this topic, all pointing back to that centralized same call to action itself at the end of the post. And through this, what I'm able to do is generate a list of folks that are interested in this thing. People that want to hear more about this training, they want to hear the value that I'm going to share on this event itself, and they want to come and attend and see what's going to be going down on this live as a whole. So as I talk more about the thing, the goal is to build up more of an interested list so we can get more eyeballs on this live and on this event where we're going to be providing all this massive value and sharing some of our own personal experience in getting to where we are now. As we get closer and closer to this live training date, what we can do is start to send out reminders to folks that were showing interest to this event itself and that we're wanting to attend. And then we can also think back on anybody that maybe we previously had conversations with over the last couple weeks to months that share with us some problems in Messenger, some areas that they're working on developing in their business that relate directly to this training that we're hosting. And what we can do is we can follow up with those folks and say, hey, I know last we spoke, you were mentioning that you were dealing with some inconsistency within your revenue, and you were trying to figure out how to create more consistency within your goal of getting to 10K months and maintain that over 6 to 12 months consecutively. I'm hosting a training on this topic exactly in my group next week. Thought it would be valuable to you, so I figured I would drop you an invite to join us if it's something that resonates. And from there, what they'll do is come back with one of two responses. Either yes, I'd love to check it out, or I'd love more details, and we can invite them to this training, send them the link to all of the details, and work to get them to attend, or no, I'm not interested. Either way, at least we know clearly that either they're still showing interest in solving this problem that we once were talking on, or no, either they've already broke past it or they're not interested in our help anymore. Either way, that's helpful to us in being able to manage our energy, not only with follow-ups to them and future conversations, but also just within our lead pipeline as a whole. So now that we've pulled in some new interest from folks that have seen our content, heard our stories, heard our experiences, and have an idea of what's to come on this training next week, we're also able to get some eyeballs in there on this training that are folks we previously chatted with in conversations that were showing interest at one point before, but maybe the timing wasn't right, or they weren't ready yet, or they weren't quite in a position to talk further about how you could help itself. So we're getting them back to top attention, keeping them top of mind, showing them that, hey, I remember our conversation, would love to have you join us. I think this will be super helpful. And now we have a nice list of folks that are ready to attend and join us on this live itself. From there, what we do is deliver the value on the live, go deep on the topic. Don't worry about holding anything back in terms of giving away too much or going too deep. The more value that we can give in a genuine way, and the more that we can do that by sharing our own personal experiences, what was helpful to us and how that may be helpful to them, the more we're allowing our audience to not only relate to us and see that we once dealt with that same struggle, but they're also able to see that we figured it out, and in addition, also be able to hear from us and see us on this live video itself, which is massive in terms of being a trust builder within our conversations. The difference between that person just chatting with us in Messenger to now 1 week later seeing us on a live, interacting with us, talking with us on that live itself, and perhaps even getting some question answers from us on that live at the end, is the difference between them being open to booking a call with us or them feeling like, man, they have no clue who we are. And this is super, super key, because what we can do at the end of this live training, whatever the value is that you're delivering on it, is wrap up the end with a simple call to action. Maybe that training is on content. In the instance of this live that we recently hosted in our community, this call to action was around the upcoming live virtual mastermind event that we're hosting this month. So I invited those that joined us that got value from what we delivered in this training and that want to find out more about how we can help in this area and how we can help insert the system into their own business, to comment ticket below to secure their ticket for our upcoming virtual mastermind event. And what this does is this gives us a list of folks off that live that are already showing us direct, real interest in what we're offering and what we have going on, and still gives us the opportunities to go back and engage with folks that still were hearting the live, commenting on the live, and showing that they got value from it, where we can get to know them further in conversations and potentially see if this event that we have going on will be beneficial for them and is something that they may want to check out further. So now that we've talked through a quick example of this, let's go through step by step how you can go about integrating this within your own business and benefiting from this straight away. So it all begins with the first step of identifying a problem. This is going to help you pick the topic. It all starts with the problem itself. So this is ideally a problem that you know your audience deals with, or one that you have experience in solving or have created a solution to. Something that you can talk on and share that, hey, I once was here just like you, and now I'm here, and this is how I got here itself. Whether it's on content, whether it's on creating predictability within your revenue, like we just talked about, whether it's on messenger conversations, sales, the topics are endless. And this all depends on the niche that you're in, the folks that you're serving, and the problems that you're solving itself. Think about where you were once at previously on your journey compared to where you are now, and some problems that you once dealt with that you now have solved in your business itself, or that you could provide some value on to folks in your audience. Once we have that problem identified, we can then wrap this into a topic or a training itself. So once we have that topic selected, we can then schedule this relevant training for the week ahead. We can do this internally by noting, hey, this is the topic that we're sharing. We're hosting this training in 7 days on this date. And if you want, you can even go out and schedule this event inside your community or wherever you're hosting it itself. Once we have this date picked, this allows us to work backwards and say, okay, now we have 7 days to talk about what's to come with this free live training that we're hosting and work to get more eyeballs on this training itself. So what we can do from here throughout the next 6 days is share lessons, stories, and experiences around this relevant topic. And at the end of all of those different bite-sized posts, we can invite readers to find out more and join you for this upcoming training that you're hosting by saying, hey, comment below if you want to join me for this upcoming training that I'm hosting on this topic next week inside my free Facebook community, or wherever it is that you're hosting it itself. The more content that you can put up, the more you're likely going to generate more interest and eyeballs for this training itself. This doesn't mean that a massive amount of posts are required. You'll see from me and our strategy more than often, this comes down to a few posts before the event, a few follow-up emails, and this is enough to get some more attention and eyeballs towards the value that we're delivering on this training itself. And we can continue this process as we get closer and closer to the event by hyping the training out further, letting those that were interested and those that haven't quite shown interest yet that, hey, I'm hosting this training next week, or I'm hosting this training in a couple days from now. It's going down at 1 p.m. CST. If you want to join me, here's the link to RSVP in advance. So again, up until this point, we are leveraging the value of reciprocity. We're giving, we're not asking, we're not making it about us, we're making it about them and what's coming out for them. The free value that we're creating for them, the problems that we're solving for them on this free training. And we're inviting those that want to take part in this to join us for free. Come hang out, come get some value, and come hear your experience. As we hype this up further, we can now get to the delivery of the training itself, and we get to that day where the event's going down. And this is where we can take things a step further. So now, up until these last 7 days, our entire goal was to get more eyeballs on this training for this day itself. If we've done our job up until this point, we're going to have many more people showing up and attending and joining us on this live. And this is the day where we are actually going live for this training, and we can send out one final reminder to everyone that showed interest and say, hey, training's going down today. Here's the link to join me. I'm going live in 30 minutes from now. You kick things off. You have a nice list of folks that are ready to join you and experience what you put together. And now this is where you begin the giving process. You always give first. We give value. We talk on this topic. We share our stories, our beliefs, and what allowed us to understand this more clearly, what allowed us to break past this, going into perhaps strategy like we're doing here, and giving them an inside look at how you went from where you once were to where you are now in this particular area. Now, at the end of this training, what you can do for those that stuck with you till the end, you know that these folks are very interested in what you're delivering. They enjoy it, they appreciate it, they want to see more of it. So it would make no sense to not invite them to come find out more and how they can potentially work with you or get further help from you in integrating this into their own business. So this can be done by simply inserting an ask at the end of this live after you give first, and let them know that, hey, this week I'm opening up 3 spots for a X session. Maybe it's a content audit session. Maybe it's a session where you work with them personally to build a roadmap for their business. The more that you can wrap this call to action in a relevant way around the training that you are delivering itself, the better. So if you're delivering a training on content and the 4 elements that make up quality pieces of content that convert, then it would be fitting to wrap up the end of this live training, letting your audience know that you're opening up 3 spots for a free content audit session with you, where you're going to basically help them break down their current content, let them know where the gaps are, where they can improve, and give that to them in this audit session itself. It's exclusive, it's scarcity based because there's only X amount of spots, and it's a benefit directly related to the value that you are delivering on this free training itself. Just through this alone, you're going to likely see many folks that are commenting, hey, audit below, or I want more info, I'd love to take advantage of this, etc. Immediately giving you warm opportunities and qualified opportunities straight away right off the back end of this live, with people showing interest, that have hung out with you, consumed your stuff, that are more engaged, more educated, and ready to find out more. And better yet, the folks that maybe didn't comment or didn't get to attend the training or didn't see the full training through the end, what you can do is work to follow back up with them, either ask them their experience on it or work to get them to check out that live in case they missed it, and all in turn just bringing you more opportunities itself. So what we want to focus on by the end of this event is first and foremost, the folks that are showing us the most interest, that commented right away, that stuck around to the end of the training, that showed us that we enjoy what you're delivering here, we want to find out more, we'd love your help. Those are always the best places to start. From there, the next best place to work backwards from in creating more opportunities is the folks that showed up and engaged. Maybe they didn't make it to the end, or maybe they had to jump off because something was going on, etc. The point is, if they were there hanging out and they were dropping some comments, maybe not dropping the keyword of the call to action at the end, that doesn't mean that they're still not interested in finding out more about this thing that you mentioned. So it'd be wise to start engaging that conversation with them, knowing that they already have that much more trust built up because they hung out with you for some of that live. Thirdly, you have a list of folks that either didn't get to attend the live that showed interest before, or people that are still coming in off those previous posts showing, hey, I want to see what you have going down with this upcoming training, all giving you more opportunities of folks to come to move them to this video, give them this free value, and then begin the asking after they consume that free value itself if they align with it. This strategy alone can easily fuel your pipeline week after week with fresh new opportunities, bringing new leads in, creating new warm qualified opportunities off the back end of that live, and giving you an easier list of folks to engage with, to message, and to conversate with to ultimately talk further about how you can help. This eliminates the need to have to always focus on the new people, the cold people, and have to feel like you have to basically sell folks in Messenger itself. Let your content do some of that legwork for you. Let that build trust for you. Let that content allow those folks that are interested to get to know you further in this value that you're providing, see the value that you actually do go out and give to your audience for free. And this will in turn allow them to be much more open to everything you have to say beyond this point, and be much more open to future asks that you put in front of them in terms of wanting to find out more about your help, hopping on a call, etc. By leveraging this strategy, you'll quickly find how much this simplifies not only your content approach, but also simplifies your lead generation efforts, allowing you to consistently and reliably bring in qualified opportunities on repeat through this ecosystem that we're creating, from the value that we're giving, the hooks that we're putting out, and the focus that we have in place to move folks from being someone that just sees that initial post about us talking about this training that we're delivering to actually consuming that training, engaging with it, enjoying it, and leading to a conversation afterwards. So for those that hung around with me through the end of this training today, that got value from this one, first and foremost, if you did, smash the thumbs up button and drop a comment below. Let me know your thoughts, takeaways, or questions that you have up until this point. And those that want to come behind the scenes with me and my team for 5 days as we host our first ever virtual live mastermind event, I invite you to click the button in the description below to find out more on what we have going down this month. We just opened up registration. We already have over 10 spots sold. We're capping this off at 50 spots, and these spots will go super quick. We're gonna be going behind the scenes on topics just as we discussed today, and much, much more. In particular, talking on things like how to create a predictable and scalable client acquisition system, how to leverage our CVDM method to create pre-sold and qualified opportunities, and much, much more. So if you want to find out more about that, if you want to join me and my team, we're doing this to over-deliver. We're not doing this to make money. As you'll find on the page, this is very, very low priced. And we can call this our Black Friday special for this month because we've truly never given away this amount of value before for this ticket and this price itself. So for those that join us, I know you'll be happy that you did, and I encourage you to join us now before these spots fill up, as they will do so quickly as we approach closer to the event date itself. Again, link is in the description below. And for those of you here that have not yet subscribed to the channel already, be sure to smash that subscribe button before you head out so you're not missing out on any future content or value that we drop on the channel. Thanks again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you back on the next video very soon. Peace.